Mechanical damage is one of the biggest issues electric vehicles face, especially when it involves the high voltage battery. Just recently, a Cybertruck went off roading and ran over a cable barrier at highway speed. The battery was punctured, and firefighters spent the next 3.5 hours trying to make that vehicle safe. This is Stashed. I'm Pat, firefighter, mechanical engineer, and battery guy. On the evening of June 4th, 2026, on northbound State Route 167 near Pacific, Washington, a Cybertruck made an improper lane change. It clipped a Chevy Silverado, lost control, and rode the center median cable barrier. The driver and his passenger were transported to the hospital with minor injuries. The driver of the Silverado wasn't hurt, but the crash made the Cybertruck's battery mildly annoyed. The battery cells started going into thermal runaway, producing a whitish-gray vapor cloud. In this case, there was little to no fire, but that type of situation makes things difficult for firefighters. It also makes things difficult for the Good Samaritans that were around trying to help. They tried to use fire extinguishers on the vehicle and were exposed to the toxic cloud coming from those batteries. 3 fire engines responded, bringing nearly 2,000 gallons of tank water to the scene. They ended up using a pancake nozzle to cool that battery, but I'll come back to that tactic in a bit. When the Cybertruck rode that cable barrier, the post punctured into the bottom of the battery pack. You can see the punctures in the photos, and here's where the Cybertruck's battery design becomes important, because it likely stopped this from becoming a blazing inferno. The pack is built differently than almost every EV on the road. In most electric vehicles, the battery cells sit inside a tray, with the tray on the bottom and the cover on top. The Cybertruck is the opposite, basically upside down compared to most EVs on the road. The tray is on top, the cover faces the road. And between that road-facing cover and the cells above it, there's an intentional air gap that's roughly 1.5 inches of void space. Tesla engineered that gap for 2 reasons. First, it's a road hazard buffer. Rocks, debris, trailer hitches, or a steel I-beam meant to support a cable barrier. Basically, anything that impacts the bottom of that battery pack hits that cover. That gap acts as a buffer, and ideally, the cells never see that damage. Second, if a cell does go into thermal runaway, that gap gives the gases somewhere to go. They vent downward, away from the cabin, away from the passenger compartment, but more importantly, away from all the other cells. Monroe Live did a full teardown on this pack, and if you're interested, I'll link the video in the description below. It's pretty interesting to see how it's built. But in this case, when that cable barrier post punched into the battery cover, it likely mechanically damaged the cells during that intrusion. And all those damaged cells, they started to off-gas. That's thermal runaway. The cells don't need to be on fire, they just need to be releasing energy. There was smoke and flame reported at the scene, but look at the vehicle. There's virtually no fire damage to the rockers, no heat damage to the interior. The airbags were deployed in the crash, but the cabin, it's mostly intact. Like I've said many times before, this was a gas-fed fire coming from underneath. Those cells were venting out those flammable gases, and in this case, there was very little fire. Unfortunately, that's also a bad thing because this failure was also extremely slow. If you like this type of content, hit subscribe. My goal is 100,000 subscribers this year. Firefighters used a pancake nozzle under the vehicle to try and cool the battery. They emptied all 3 trucks, flowing right around 2,000 gallons of water. Again, this is where the Cybertruck's design makes things really difficult. Remember that air gap I mentioned earlier? That same air gap that routes the gases out, it also keeps the water away, and any cooling effect that water has, it keeps it away from those cells. The water hits that road-facing cover, and the cells sitting right around 1 inch, 1.5 inches away from it, you're cooling the outside of the box, but that reaction continues inside. It's really like a dumpster fire. Imagine having a dumpster on fire, the lids are closed, you give a probie the nozzle, walks up there, opens it up, and just starts spraying the outside of the dumpster. It's not really going to do anything. It's not that 2,000 gallons was or wasn't enough. It's that the design of the battery makes it nearly impossible for that water to reach the cells that need to actually be cooled. And that's the case with a lot of EVs on the market today. After about 3.5 hours, the Cybertruck was lifted onto a flatbed by a rotator, likely because they wanted a vertical lift to ensure there wasn't any other damage done to the battery. After that vehicle was loaded, the fire department escorted the tow truck to the unload point at the salvage yard. That's exactly what should happen and what I really recommend with any EV that has a damaged high-voltage battery. The risk of reignition during transport is well documented. It's the safest thing to do. You don't want a tow truck driver alone on the highway with a flaming EV on his bed. Having an apparatus follow the vehicle to its destination is the right call, and I'd like to see it become standard practice. Then, when the vehicle gets to the yard, that takes special consideration too. When a standard combustion engine vehicle is stored at a tow yard, they are parked mirror to mirror, very little space in between. That's fine for a gas car. It's not okay for an electric vehicle, especially if that pack is compromised. Based on the latest FSRI research, I recommend a minimum 20-foot exclusion zone around damaged electric vehicles and storage. In this yard, they had purpose-built concrete containment stalls for EVs. It's a significant step up from what most yards are doing right now. If you run a tow yard or work with one, training is important. Reach out, because you need to be having this conversation now, before you have an incident. Because if there's a delayed thermal runaway in an electric vehicle in a tow yard, it could go from one fire to 20 or 30 cars on fire in no time at all.